On tonight's show.
It's just so hot. Where the are the trees at?
When you take on Mongolia, you're taking on Mother Nature. Turning now to the terrifying force of sandstorms. Las Vegas and parts of California and Utah were blasted in the last 24 hours with 130-kilometer-an-hour winds that stirred up desert sand and really made for extremely dangerous and in some cases deadly driving conditions.
Now, being inside a car during a sandstorm would be pretty scary, but imagine having to walk through not one of them, but several as part of a 78-day solo trek across Mongolia.
To be in the middle of a sandstorm is quite intimidating. Actually, it's really dark. It's loud. You've got to really cover up your skin. It's quite ferocious in a way that it completely disorientates you at the same time. I'm Dykes, and I'm the first person in the world to walk solo and unsupported across Mongolia. The expedition saw me covering 1,500 miles over the Altai Mountains, across the Gobi Desert and up through the Mongolian steppe. I decided to take on this expedition because I was looking for my next, big challenge. I was young, healthy, and I wanted to take on another big expedition. And Mongolia just stood out to me as being, really extreme, varied amount of weather and terrain along the way. Storm coming! This involved a lot of training, mentally and physically, really. But on the physical side of things, I was competing against the locals in Muay Thai in Thailand. When I returned back home into the UK, I was flipping a tractor tyre, this thing here. I really had to build up my inner core strength, ready to pull 120 kilograms across the country. I took the trailer across Mongolia because I needed that to survive. That was like my life capsule, it held all of my water, it held my ration packs, my cooking equipment, protective clothing, obviously to face the snow blizzards in the Altai and then the sandstorms in the Gobi Desert. The terrain's quite difficult, pulling the trailer through the sand in the Gobi was extremely tough, and each step was just 100% pure effort. During the day it was extremely hot and I faced over 40 degrees Celsius. It was quite intense. It's just so hot, there's no trees. I've not seen any trees in Mongolia whatsoever. I slipped into heat exhaustion and was very quickly slipping into heat stroke. I was only about 3 days away from my next settlement, which holds my next water source. And I was pretty convinced that if I didn't make that next water source, I would have died out in the Gobi Desert. My first sandstorm I came across in Mongolia was actually heading up towards a city called Altai. This one was only minor. I could see it from the distance and I knew that I was walking, right into it. But it was a lot stronger than I expected. When it hit me, it completely, I had to keep my eyes shut, take off the harness of my trailer and search through my bags to find, these pair of goggles here, to wrap my face up, put my hat on and even get a fleece on because it wasn't just the sand, but it was also the gravel and pebbles that were whipping my skin pretty bad. The biggest sandstorm I faced was heading deep into the Gobi Desert. I was just following a track and this one hit me by surprise. It came pretty fast. It was quite dark and it lasted for about 45 minutes, so it was a long one. It was dark inside. And again, I was just completely lost. Like I said, although I was following a track, it disorientated me completely and I was just, hoping for it to end as soon as possible. The whole trip in total took me 78 days. It was predicted to take 100 days. Luckily, I managed to knock 22 days off the predicted target, but purely because it's 16 hours daylight, you can just keep walking and walking. And the longest day I walked was 55 kilometers in 14 hours, which was a pretty painful day. I only done that one day. After that, I learnt the hard way. After resting for 8 days trying to recover in the settlement, once I made it, I left with a different attitude and with a more respectful attitude to what damage, the sun can cause, and the power of Mother Nature, should I say.